should be live here. Let's make sure the pick'em lobby's up. Okay. Pull up the stream over here. What is going on? Gonna do a couple more drafts. Gonna discuss QB tiers. Sorry, let me pull up my thing over here, and I suppose have the tiers ready in case I. Okay, yeah, we're good to go. Stream looks good. Have the tiers ready to go in case I forget them. I spent a bunch of hours writing those today. Okay, jumping in another fast puppy. Okay, so 2 articles dropped today: the QB strategy guide and the QB tiers guide, aimed toward redraft, focusing on redraft. Next time, jump in. Let me know so you can call in. You can call in right now, dude. I think we could figure that out. I think you can FaceTime me. I can pick it up and I can throw you on the screen, dude. Try that. I think it should work. If you FaceTime me, I think I can pick up a FaceTime on here. Oh, audio will be weird. I don't know. You can try it. Might be hard. I can pause in between. Dude, setting this up takes a second. I can pause in between and we can try that. Because what I was thinking is you can pretty easily FaceTime me, and I think it'll work, but I don't know. We'll have to figure out. I totally would have let you. 11. Every fucking pick. Every pick is at the back. You don't want to mess up the stream. Yeah, dude, let me do one draft and then maybe I can jump back on. We'll figure that out because I think we can just do a FaceTime off it. I don't know. Yeah, so dude, every one of my picks this year, I'm gonna end up with like 30% James Cook if I keep getting in the you need to grill me on the Trevor stuff. Okay, I'll get a hold of you when I get off here because I plan to do 2 streams. It's up to you, dude. It'll be kind of late, but if you're around, I will totally get a hold of you because we should be doing these calls together. It's just easier, like I've just been jumping off of my laptop. You could totally grill me about the Trevor stuff. I understand that's probably gonna be. I'm surprised you're not grilling me about the Mahomes stuff. I have Mahomes down next to Malik Willis in the tiers. I'm more comfortable going into a fantasy season with like Malik Willis starting than I am with Mahomes on my roster as far as. He might not play for 6 weeks. Like, I'm not drafting Mahomes in best ball. I'm drafting a lot of Malik Willis. I do want to say before I get into the QB stuff, I'm super proud of the free Tendies fantasy team, dude. We have been really high on James Cook all summer and like saying that he should be the RB3 off the board. He's now going as the RB3 off the board, or at least that's what people open to first partner today. Double Jodo stars. Nice, dude. $100 opening. I think the fantasy community is going to catch up to where me and Ted have been this summer, which is that James Cook is actually the RB3. He has less injury concerns than McCaffrey and Jonathan Taylor. And I'm starting to see that everywhere. Ron Stewart moved him up to 9 in his rankings. I was seeing it all over Twitter, though, like major accounts. I think we're going to be way ahead of that, dude. And when we look back, like, me being able to get 30% James Cook at the end of the first round is going to look pretty good. See, that's the problem, dude. I keep taking him here. I'm not taking any of these guys over him. I'm not taking Saquon Barkley over him. I'm not taking Omarion Hampton as much as I love him. I haven't gotten a lot of Hampton lately. Maybe I'll do a Hampton because I have a lot of James Cook, Saquon. You get that combo a lot. So maybe I will do a Hampton here. Oh, God, that is really cool getting Saquon that late. I'm going to do Hampton just because I have James Cook, Saquon in at least 6 rosters. I have 6 or 7 rosters where Saquon's been late and I've gotten him. I want to mix it up just a little bit. But I do prefer Saquon in a vacuum. Yeah, so the Mahomes fade is definitely what I thought would be one of the weirder takes. Ted is very offended. I'll just say it. Maybe I hope we can get him on for the second stream. I think we're going to work on that in between. That's what I'll do if he wants to stay up late or whatever. It's 10 o'clock here on the West Coast. So Hampton round 1. That was Hampton round 2. So Ted is very offended by the idea that Trevor Lawrence should be ahead of Dak and Justin Herbert. I think because of Justin Herbert mainly. Ted's a longtime Justin Herbert stan. That's completely reasonable. I totally understand. And I think most of the fantasy community is going to have it that way. For me, I guess it's just that I'm chasing that like mega upside we saw out of Trevor Lawrence, the number 1 scoring player in fantasy inside the 10-yard line last year, the number 1 scoring player in fantasy overall from week 5 on. I really believe in Liam Cohen. I think he's a kingmaker, like I wrote in the article. I guess I'm just chasing what I perceive to be like crazy league breaking upside. Whereas with Dak, I think with Dak, it's more like QB 6 to 8. You're going to get some spike weeks. You're going to get some floor weeks, but Dak feels really safe. Justin Herbert, I think, is sort of the best of both worlds. He has rushing upside. He has really good passing. He's really efficient. But I don't know if, like, with the pace that McDaniels likes to run offense, pre-snap motion chews up all the pre-play clock, with how much they're going to run the ball, with how good their defense is going to be, and, like, with their division, I think being weird offensively this year. I don't think the AFC West is going to force shootouts between the Broncos and Chiefs and Raiders. I think there's going to be a lot of, like, draggy trench warfare rock throwing kind of games in that division. So yeah, I don't know. I guess that's why. And then also I think the Jags defense is pretty bad. So I guess maybe, yeah, that's why I have Trevor Lawrence the highest in that tier. And he's also going like 5 to 8 picks later than them. I'm fine with anyone in that tier. So what I'm really proud. Okay, so there's the tiers article and the strategy article. The tiers article is like a little bit boring because you're just kind of giving the rundown. It's hard to be that exciting. You're trying to say why I have guys where, but it does inform the strategy article. So, in that sense, it's worth it. But check out the tiers just to kind of see like what I'm doing, where I have guys. The strategy article, though, is the one that I think is more interesting and really useful for people. Are we going to get a crazy Trey McBride slide? That is a pick 30-something Trey McBride. You know what? I want to keep doing these crazy, robust RB builds while we can. So I think I'll take. I actually prefer a Mecca Buka to Zayflower, straight up, to be honest with you. Or yeah, we could open up the Herbert stack if we go here. Josh Allen that late is pretty interesting. Do we want to try to do, if Josh Allen is still on the board here, do we want to try to do a Josh Allen, James Cook, Omarion Hampton, Josh Jacobs start? Maybe we will do that. Sorry, I'll pick it back up with the QBs in a minute, but this was actually in the article. I think you have to take Josh Allen at the 3-4 turn, whether it's there goes Josh Allen. Okay. We're going to take a Mecca Buka. That's going to be in the wide receiver article. I'm just going to continue taking that. I think the sky is the limit with him this year. I think the fantasy community is overthinking themselves. So yeah, but this is the build that I think is going to be not possible later in the year, and that is going to be following up the double hero running back with Josh Jacobs there at the 4th round, and then anchoring your wide receiver room. And then what I try to do is just take 2 receivers at the turn. We don't have any stacks here that we're gonna like. I do like trying to get Godwin in the 8th and stacking it with Baker Mayfield. So again, this is a start. This is part of why I'm drafting so much early here. I think Josh Jacobs is going to be a pick 25 to 30 guy. And to me, like, maybe I would have preferred Saquon here just straight up in my rankings, but whatever. I think Omarion Hampton could go nuts this year. These are 3 dudes that could score 20 touchdowns this year that you're going to be starting in your flex through RB spots. When I do this, I won't touch running back until 150 to 200, and I'll try to get like Braylon Allen's one of my favorites. Sometimes I'll just do 4. Sometimes I'll do 5. But I like guys that I think will score touchdowns and just give you some float or catch passes. So like Samson, Tucker, and Braylon Allen and Katron Allen, even like those kind of guys. Jonah Coleman, if he falls to 155, 160. Yeah, I think he's priced exactly where he should be, and you're either going to get a steal or get completely fucked. Yeah, so that's, again, dude, to me with the Emeka thing, I don't know. I guess I'm willing to be embarrassed about it. I'm chasing those. I remember the Cooper Kupp year where he had a weird decline in use. And there was some conversation about whether or not he was an NFL caliber player, and he was going as the 2nd player in his own offense with Bobby Trees there. And then he comes out with that role, dude, and with the Zach Robinson thing. The Fantasy Points guys had an incredible piece on Baker Mayfield and how he fits with Zach Robinson that I'm really, really bullish on. I just think that's going to be one of my big flag plants this year, and it was something I really did go over in the QB stuff today. If you're going to go 0 quarterback in redraft this year, I think you can go ahead and rip Baker Mayfield. He was the QB2 in fantasy behind only Patrick Mahomes from 2024, from like late 2023 to early 2025 before he got injured. His bicep injury is breaking on social media right now, and we're seeing how banged up he actually was last year. For me, that's going to be something where I'm going to dive in head first. I think Baker Mayfield's going to be healthy. I think Emeka Egbuka is going to be healthy. He drew a 24% target share while scoring the fifth most fantasy points by a wide receiver through the first 5 games of their career ever. He gets the Z role, the coveted Z role in a Zach Robinson, the Cooper Cup role in a Sean McVay coaching tree hire. Baker Mayfield's one of the best quarterbacks in the league with play action. I just yeah. So Ted actually had the Baker. Ted killed it in our. Yeah, he's got a bad taste in his mouth from how that went. He killed it in our. Oh God, do you get a Devontae Adams slip? Also, so another one of my. I just like the risk reward here. I understand it can go really south. If I get Christian Watson this late in the fifth in best ball, to me that's just so good, dude. I think if he stays healthy, he's going to be a top 15 wide receiver. The comp that I keep seeing in content creators is, does he have a Terry McLaurin 2024 type season this year? I think that's totally in the range of outcomes. We have not been taking a lot of Rome Odunze here because he's usually off the board. I'll mix in some Rome because I think there's a non-zero chance he is their wide receiver one. And besides that, I think he's going to play and he's going to be their red zone target as a receiver no matter what happens with Burden, even if he breaks out. But yeah, so that is one of my big flag plants this year. I put it as my fourth preferred strategy. I don't prefer QB0, but if you're going to do it this year, you can go get Baker Mayfield in the 12th round and redraft. Okay, so he goes, we're gonna throw a little Roma Dunze here. Hope one of these guys pops this year. I think there's a pretty good chance there. Carnell Tate and Jordan Tyson. I prefer Jordan Tyson straight up to Carnell Tate, but I have been taking so much Jordan Tyson because I'm really, really high on him. I'm going to take Carnell Tate if he's here. If not, we're just going to take another Jordan Tyson share. I love this dude. James Cook, Omarion Hampton, Josh Jacobs, Emeka Egbuka, Romo Dunze, and then we are going to take Carnell Tate again. I think for redraft, you guys probably want to go Jordan Tyson. I think there's actually a better chance that Jordan Tyson's a league winner with the pass rate of Kellen Moore offenses. And then typically what I like to do with these builds when I'm super, super heavy here, I actually will take a Justin Herbert here to sort of stack with Omarion. And actually if Quentin Johnson makes it back there with me, that's kind of a cool little backdoor Charger stack. So yeah, that's going to be, if you guys are going QB0, I would really prefer that you have one of 3 guys back there. If you're going to go 12th round quarterback or later, Ted's really high on Jordan Love. I think that's correct. I think Jordan Love is a really good QB2 to anchor a quarterback 0 roster with. I prefer Baker Mayfield and Tyler Shuck. So, but all 3 of those guys are going to be guys that if you're going QB0, go ahead and rip it. You should have a crazy beefy roster. If you're taking a quarterback in the 130s, 140s, you should be built up absolutely everywhere. I think either of those 3 guys, though, are perfectly good. Let it be known, Love is a Ted's guy for QB0. But again, they're very similar to me. Similar bets, similar profiles. Yeah, so that's going to be where I live. And then my emergency, my pull the ripcord, if that trio's gone, and bear in mind, if that trio's gone, you did a terrible job in 12-team, 1 flex redraft. I'll throw in a Malik Willis as the last viable quarterback, I think. But I don't think it should get to that point, dude. Shuck and Baker and Love are going as 16 to 20 quarterbacks in that range. I don't think you should put yourself in a position that year. That's why I put that in the strategies article. Do not put yourself in a position where, God, look at that slide on Jordan Tyson. I am so jealous of whoever, and Parker Washington. I think that is, and Parker Washington goes before Jordan Tyson. And he's still sliding. What a price on, oh, nice. We get the Trevor Lawrence. Did that guy, yeah, Chef Masters parked Washington and stacked Washington and Trevor Lawrence at the 6-7 turn. I love that. I mean, he's not going to get back to me, but a kid can dream. We're going to throw him at the top of the stack. Yeah, so that's my QB0 targets. Those are the guys that, if you're reaching way back, and especially in best ball, I'm stacking on there. So that was my least preferred strategy. The second strategy we went over is just pay the price for the elite guys. So what does pay the price for the elite guys mean? You have 7 quarterbacks that are all recognized as high-end QB1s with QB1 overall potential, but certainly quarterback 5 potential. I don't think they all have QB1 overall potential. What are those 7 guys? Josh Allen, Lamar Jackson, Drake May, Jaden Daniels, Joe Burrow, Caleb Williams, and Jalen Hurts. So second to last preferred strategy is you just decide, I want to be safe, I want to be secure, I'm gonna pay the ticket. Ooh, man, that's a good price on Cortland Sutton this late. I know Ted hates Cortland Sutton and Alec Pierce. Dude, these two guys are not priced properly. I'll keep taking Alec Pierce there. I do not have a lot of Justin Herbert this year, and I just did the article about how you should take Justin Herbert if he's within range. We're gonna take Justin Herbert and then possibly look at getting Chris Godwin and throw a Baker Mayfield in there and get the Chris Godwin Igbuka stack. Justin Herbert opens up a Marion. Or a Rondé Gadsden, who I'm actually extremely high on this year, and the news today was really good about. Okay, yeah, we're gonna take a Justin Herbert. And yeah, because I'm gonna chase that Baker stack, we will throw Cortland Sutton's a much better pick in my opinion than Chris Godwin, but we're gonna throw him there. We're gonna take Chris Godwin. Okay, so this will definitely be a Baker roster because I'm going to try to get Baker stacked with Igbuka and Godwin, and then this opens up two late tight ends who I love in Kate Otten and Rondé Gadsden. News report broke today. News report broke today that Rondé Gadsden is going to be the quick passing guy in LA for the Chargers. I'm telling you fellas right now, in my tight end article, it's going to look a lot like my QB article, which is incredible value late and keep taking it. Mark my words, if Rondé Gadsden gets the Jonnu Smith role, dude, if that guy had like 700 yards his rookie year playing part-time tight end, I think Rondé Gadsden could be like, you know, you don't want to be hyperbolic, but like a lot of what drew people to Trey McBride in his rookie year was like, look at the volume this athletic, lanky tight end is drawing in a situation, right? Rondé Gadsden really, really fascinates me, but that'll be something we get into when we do quarterback strategy. So finishing up, second to last favorite strategy, but it's totally viable. Pay the price. What does the price look like for these guys? That looks like third round Josh Allen, fourth round Lamar Jackson, 4-5 turn Drake May or Jaden Daniels, and then 6th to 7th round Caleb Williams or Jalen Hurts. I know Burrow goes in the 5th round, but at cost he's going so close to Drake May or Jaden Daniels. I think you're kind of crazy if you take a very injury prone non-rushing side. Yeah, he can't block, and I'm a believer in the talent. Yeah, so Ted was super big on Gadsden for a period last year. I think that's true, but I also think, like, well, Jonnu Smith was a pretty good blocker. To me, I'm very excited by and we'll try to build them here. I'm really excited by Kate Otten's odds to get on the field and get some extra reps this year, and then I'm excited by Gadsden. We're going to try to add both of them if Baker Mayfield's there for us on... We're going to reach a little bit. It'll be 106. That's... Oh, wait, no, because we have the quick turn. I think we can get Baker on the quick turn, actually. That's not too much of a reach. 108, 107 to 110. Yeah, we're going to hope that Baker lasts until 110. He should last. And then we're going to hunt down Gadsden and Kate Otten to stack on here with maybe one more tight end in the meantime, and that's going to be a pretty dope roster. We're going to hope our boy Slick Rick is down here. I don't think he's going to be, but if he is, I'm going to be a happy guy. I love Wandale. I have not been taking enough of him. We are going to take Wandale here if we can. Possibly look at the stack there if he slides enough. So I'm okay with paying the price on any of those guys. I think Joe Burrow is just overpriced as far as no rushing upside and injury prone like a rushing quarterback. Like, I can't comprehend taking him over a Jaden Daniels or a Drake May or taking him right behind them. I don't think you're getting the positional advantage you're playing for. He's scored 0.1 points per game less than Brock Purdy has the last few years. He's scored pretty similarly. Like when Dak Prescott has a spike here, he scores similarly. I'm just not going to mess with it. I'm really not. Okay, so we have a really good price tag on Jordan Addison here. So there goes Slick Rick. I like the Jordan Addison ticket here. Okay, so no, he goes. We're going to take Wandale. I'm a huge Wandale Robinson guy. I really am. If we want to go like more robust core QB than I prefer, we could do Cam Ward late and then get a Gunnar Helm tight end stack. I don't like going 3 guys like that high, but maybe. Oh, Baker. Wait, why isn't Baker in my queue? Oh, good. I thought he went. Yes. So this is what I love these back-end quarterbacks for. Look at that build. Justin Herbert, Baker Mayfield. Again, I feel amazing about Baker Mayfield. I know that the fantasy community is hesitant. He was the QB2 behind Patrick Mahomes when he had competent play calling the last 2 years. I'm going to keep ripping him. I'm encouraging you guys to. Emeka Egbuka's underpriced. Chris Godwin's underpriced. Kate Otten's underpriced. Anyway. So, totally fine if you pay the price on those guys. My second favorite strategy, I'm weirdly out on May this year. Way too rich for me. I don't know, man. I don't know. Drake May has a spike potential as a passer and as a rusher. The type of body type that really produces like in fantasy. You kind of chase those like Adonis type dudes. He adds AJ Brown. I don't know, man. I wouldn't be out on May this year. If you want to take Jaden Daniels over him, though, I understand. I went back and combed through Jaden Daniels' points per game or point game logs from his rookie season, and you just see all these 30-point spike weeks left and right. I probably am taking Jaden Daniels in redraft over Drake May because, like, I think he could be the QB1 overall if he stays totally healthy. And you got to remember, we were paying like pick 30 to 35 for Jaden Daniels last year. He went in the second round in one of our free Tendies fantasy league drafts. So all of those guys to me, yeah, AJ Brown is the selling point to me. He's super consistent, but I don't think he touched 30 once last year. Yeah. All of those guys to me are properly priced. If you want to build out your roster with them, I encourage you to do so. But my second favorite strategy is, why not let value build round to round and see who slides? See who slides. I think it's going to happen in home leagues. It's less likely because they tend to be quarterback hungry. But if you get Josh Allen at the 3-4 turn in your home league, if you get Lamar at the 4-5 turn, if you get 5th round Drake May or Jaden Daniels, if you get 7th round Caleb Williams or Jalen Hurts, and you're getting those 7 guys that I do think there's a difference between what comes after them and them. I don't know. To me, that's a that's the kind of thing where you can do a build that runs your league, and I have a hard time saying no to it. So I just think it's about being selective and it's about being careful. That is something that I do because you can do all these at once. You can go in and you shift, right, as the board falls. I'm going to sit there. I still like the player. It's just that I'm taking Hurts and Jaden instead. That's fine. Hurts is an interesting one over Drake May. We should talk about it. We're going to try to get a video call going. We're going to see how it goes after this draft, dude. Hurts Hurts over May is a weird taker. Having Hurts in the same tier. I don't think he's in the same tier in my opinion. Not in the same tier. I just couldn't imagine putting him above. I guess he is in the same tier in my rankings. I just couldn't imagine putting him above. So that's my personal one. That the second to favorite one is just, you're gonna sit there and you're gonna wait and you're gonna let guys fall to you. And if a guy falls to you, you're gonna go ahead and take him. So here's an interesting one. I love Mark Andrews this year. I just do. I think it's a concentrated offense here, and Mark Andrews is going to get volume. Now, we said we're gonna reach on Gadsden. He is not going to be there for us at. Okay, so we're going to be at 134, and then we're not picking again until 154. I don't think Gadsden's going to get back to us. So what I may do is, I don't want to lose that stack, but I think I'm just going to. Because we don't have any Herbert stacks if not. So I can either reach on Gadsden, but I think Shaheed's a really good price here, and I would love to anchor. I'm going to anchor my tight end room with Andrews, because I think Andrews catches a lot of touchdowns this year. I love the idea of throwing Dallas there. I don't like the idea of reaching on Gadsden, but he's at 148.7. We're going to white knuckle it, and we're going to hope Gadsden comes back to us at 140, at 151. We're going to take Shaheed and add him to this room. Look at Rashid Shaheed added to that room at this range. To me, that is a banger. We're doing it. I love that. Feeling great about our quarterback room. I feel so good about... So 2 upside plays in Carnell Tate and Emeka Egbuka. I think actually a combination of floor and upside and Roma Dunze in the middle there. And then a nice high floor play in Wandale. I think Wandale's a high floor play. I think Chris Godwin's criminally underpriced right now. And then Rashid Shaheed's going to give you boom weeks. All nice and stacked up with Baker Mayfield. This is what I'm talking about with the Buccaneers passing game being underpriced. Aronde Gadsden, though, is for sure going to be our preferred pick there. And I will throw on a little Brenton Strange if he's still there in the back. And then do we get a little funky with a Cam Ward stack because we have his 2 receivers here if he slides? Maybe. I don't like 3 quarterbacks when I've invested that much, but I kind of like the 2 there. So then my most favorite strategy, and this is what I'm encouraging people that watch our channel, people that consume our content. I truly believe if you do this year, you're going to run your league. So that's why I'm encouraging you guys to do it. it feels really, really good, really, really safe and secure when you get one of those top guys and you plug them in and your points per game spikes a little bit because they have like 2 to 3 more projected on Yahoo than the other guys, than like a Dak Prescott, for example, or a Brock Purdy. Brock Purdy is usually like Strange over Gadsden all day in redraft, but I'm chasing the stack in best ball. Yeah, I think Strange is like maybe the most mispriced tight end in fantasy right now, but I want the stack bad there. And then I want to finish it off with Otten, which is really good. You know what? If I'm going triple tight end with these guys, I'm going to just leave it where if I happen to fall upon like a Geno Smith late, I'll throw him in there, but I'm totally comfortable with those two in my quarterback room. Maybe that's a hot take. I'm completely fine with that. And if he falls, he won't fall, but a McMillan with Baker here would be cool. So this is what I'm doing. This is what I'm encouraging you guys to do. I think you guys are going to run leagues if you do it. Just start shopping for quarterback in the 7th or later. That's my thing. So in the 7th, you can sometimes get a Caleb Williams or a Jalen Hurts. That's awesome. I crush those guys in the 7th. In the late 7th, you're looking at Dak Prescott, Justin Herbert, and Trevor Lawrence. I think in redraft, they could go as late as like through the 8th round. Through the 8th round, if you're going through 7 rounds at that point, if you're talking about like a double flex or a 3 wide receiver league, you should have a completely beefed up roster at every single position. You could have even taken an elite onesie there and you're going to have positions you like. Again, if you're following our draft rankings, you should have 2, in our draft philosophy, you should have 2 stud running backs at that point. There goes the run on tight ends. Yeah, that's a bummer. We kind of knew it was a long shot to get back, and then I don't like Kenyon Sadiq or Henry here, so we're going to play the game of getting 2 late guys, hopefully Kate Otten to stack with Baker. Hopefully if McMillan's there, that's pretty dope. I will take any of these guys. See, this is what you do when you start off with the robust running back start. You kind of have to catch up here. Trey Tucker's getting a little steam in the media. Maybe I should mix in Trey Tucker over Jalen Naylor. I just really prefer Jalen Naylor as a player. Cam Ward in a 20 picks or a 15 pick slide, though, with the double stack. Do we have to do that? It doesn't matter. Decisions made for us. Please don't take Jalen. There we go. Cool. Ooh. Triple stack on Baker Mayfield pretty late, I believe. That's, I'm super happy with that. Who are we going to take here? Is there a running back we really like? My preference here would be Jonah Coleman, but he's not there. He's the only guy I would think about taking. We'll take a little 11 pick discount on Jalen Naylor. Okay, we're going to leave that room alone now. That is done. That's probably overdone with 8 of them. But I like going overboard if I'm starting out with 3 running backs. Our biggest target at 178 is going to be, if we can go AJ Barner into Kate Otten, I'm doing that all day. I love that. We should start to look at running backs here. My go-to guys are always Samson, Kamara, Sean Tucker. I don't think Kenneth Walker plays a full season this year, so Emmett Johnson is sort of interesting as the guy that I think would be the primary beneficiary of that. That's how we'll stack it up. I'm not too worried about getting a third quarterback with these two. I don't think that's what like the best ball streets would say, but I'm not too worried about it. So why am I encouraging people to wait till round 8 or later to take quarterback? And why do I think that's going to define fantasy leagues this year? Bigsby, KC rookie. Yeah, absolutely Bigsby over the KC rookie. He's just not going to be there. I throw him in there like in case he slides. He's not going to be there though. My ideal thing, oh my God, there goes Barner high. Yeah, Barner should be going really high. He's not properly priced in fantasy, in my view. Oh my God, the report today that Terrence Ferguson is acting as the Rams wide receiver 3. I've been crushing him after like pick 200. I'm just going to go ahead and keep doing that. What I'd really like here is just to go double tight end because when I have these 3 running backs, I'm totally happy with like a Braylon and Katron Allen at the end. Just 2 guys that I think will give you some sort of float, but we'll see who falls. If Tank falls, that's really tempting. So I keep getting distracted. I'm sorry. This is not organized content. So, yeah, man, that's going to be the range I live in. Brock Purdy is the QB5 since 2024 in points per game. Baker Mayfield, before his injury early last year, was the QB2 in points per game over like a 20-game stretch. You can get him at QB18. Kyler Murray's never finished below a QB1 in a full season that he's played. You can get him late. Jackson Dart is going as QB9, 10, 11. Bo Nix, I think Bo Nix has top 5 upside this year. I prefer him to Brock Purdy. You can get him in the 9th or 10th round. Trevor Lawrence in the 8th round. I'm just not going to worry about elite quarterback. I'm not going to push myself if one of them falls to like a value I can't say no to. I'll do it. If not, I'm going to let it go by. I'm going to let it go by. I'm going to comfortably take late quarterback. And I truly believe, as we have for 2 years, if I wish we had been putting these on video the last 2 years, it's why I'm doing it now. If you had followed what me and Ted were doing in drafts, you would have ended up with a bunch of Drake May and Brock Purdy and Dak Prescott last year. That's fantastic. Like you would have ran the table. The year before, you would have ended up with a ton of Jaden Daniels. I took Jaden Daniels in 60% of my leagues the year before. It's just run. He's like the QB5. I don't know. Maybe it's a little hubris, right? Maybe it's a little arrogant to think things are going to keep going that way because that's how they have been going. But I'm going to keep doing it. So 20 picks past ADP Ryan Flournoy, but we can't take a wide receiver here, dude. That's a really good price on him. I actually think Tank Bigsby 16 picks past ADP is too good for me to say no to. I love stacking up the tight end room, but I'm going to go with him, and then we're just going to take whoever's here, and maybe Terrence Ferguson comes back around. That's a great RB4 in that build. I might throw in Braylon Allen. I might not. I do like him for a little bit of float, and we have week 7 buys, so yeah, we'll put him in the queue. And Katron Allen, why not? Tank is just way cheaper, Jonathan Brooks. That is an offensive thing to say. That bothers me. Don't say that. So yeah, I'm gonna do it again. I'm gonna keep taking this range of quarterback. I think you're getting an MVP candidate in Justin Herbert. I think you're getting a perennial 4,500 yard passer in Dak Prescott. I think you're getting the highest scoring player in fantasy from week 5 on, the number 1 scoring player inside the 10-yard line in fantasy in 2025 in Trevor Lawrence. You're getting a guy with 4,000 yard upside and 30 passing touchdown upside in Jared Goff at QB 13. Brock Purdy is a fantasy weapon of mass destruction when he's on the field. He is actually right behind the Lamar Jacksons and the Josh Allens of the world in fantasy production and above Joe Burrow. Bo Nix, I think there's untapped upside there. He's been a QB1 both the last couple of years, but they had Jalen Waddle. They switched to Davis Webb at play caller. I think there is real volume-based upside for Bo Nix to take a step, and his playoff schedule is really good. His playoff schedule is cake. So that's what we're going to be doing at quarterback. If you guys are following our content, if you're watching this stuff all summer, you guys are going to be drafting back-end QB1s. You're going to be coming in with a double stud running back build and 3 top 20 wide receivers and possibly an elite tight end if that's your thing. I totally get it. We're going to run the table. I feel really good about that. I really do. I'm actually excited for it. I was getting giddy writing this stuff today. Maybe it's a little early for redraft content. I don't know, but I had too much to say. I had to start saying it. So I do like actually throwing out a Geno Smith here kind of late. What do we think? I think that wide receiver room's really well built. I don't want another wide receiver. The running back room should not be taking scores from a 5th running back. So maybe my ideal turn here would be to just stack 2 of these and I can still get a running back at the back end. Braylon Allen is oftentimes there in the last round. Maybe that's just what we're going to do. No. Yep. And then, so last thing as we wind down this draft here, I think we have to go around the turn one more time, right? Still 3 picks. No, this will be it. Okay. This one warrants a more interesting discussion. I think it's one that Ted will really push back on. So we maybe will end this stream and try to get him on another one and try to get him on the second one and talk it out. And that is about never taking 2 quarterbacks in 12-team leagues that are not super flex. So that's an interesting topic we should talk about. It's worthwhile. So there goes Geno Smith. Bummer. I don't really care about taking any of these guys. I don't think any of these dudes add any sort of upside to your quarterback room whatsoever. So we're just going to live with Baker and Herbert. I think the super serious best ball bros would say that's too thin of a quarterback room. It's not for me. I'm totally comfortable with it. We're getting all our upside here anyway. And especially if we get Terrence Ferguson or Dulcich tacked into this room, I'm really confident in our tight end. I feel fantastic about tight end. And we'll follow one of those guys up with Braylon Allen here. Okay, so if Terrence Ferguson goes, that is a little bit of a bummer. We don't have another stack here. The Muth? Gesicki? Just hope Ferguson survives. 3 tight ends. Oh, yeah, Ferguson's going to make it back to us. I think we got the Rams wide receiver 3 at pick 200. Oh, what a pleasure. Oh, there goes Braylon. Rip. Probably want some upside here. Actually, no, I don't. I want someone who can float me in week 7 when I have 2 buys. So I'm just going to take Emmett Johnson because he's probably going to get receiving work there anyway. Okay. Okay, does that round out the roster? That rounds out the roster. Okay, another banger. Again, guys, I'm going to keep taking these robust builds while we can. Because I don't think this is going to be possible in a few months, or in a month. Justin Herbert and Baker Mayfield, love that quarterback room. I think that's going to be a 20 point per week room. James Cook, Omarion Hampton, Josh Jacobs, Tank Bigsby, Emmett Johnson at running back. Really, really happy with that. Emeka Egbuka, Romo Dunze, Carnell Tate a little bit past ADP, which is nice. Chris Godwin, Wandale Robinson, Rashid Shaheed, Jalen McMillan, Jalen Naylor. Really, really strong wide receiver room that I love. If the wide receivers cannibalize each other a little bit in Tampa Bay, hopefully we get that upside. And then at the tight end room, I love this tight end room. Mark Andrews past ADP, Cade Otton, who I love stacked with Baker Mayfield, and then Terrence Ferguson, who I'm sort of putting all my chips in as the wide receiver 3 for the Rams. Okay, what we're going to do is we're going to cut this off, and then I'm going to see what we can do to get Ted on a call here, because this is just me live streaming off my laptop. I think we can figure this out. We're going to have to figure this out. It's worth it. It's important. We have things to discuss for fantasy. So thank you guys for watching the first one. A second one will be coming.